Cyclops and Jean Grey are the uncanniest of X-Men power couples, and their mutant family tree is full of time travel, sinister clones, alternate realities, and cosmic fire. Though Scott Summers and Jean Grey's family lineage can be traced back through the centuries to early mutant kind, we'll start in the modern era because, trust me, it's going to be confusing enough. Cyclops' human grandparents were U.S. Air Force veteran Philip Summers and his wife, Deborah Summers, who gave birth to Christopher Summers, Scott's dad. He too joined the Air Force and married his wife, Catherine Summers. Together, they had 2 sons, Scott Summers, later to be known as Cyclops, and younger brother Alex Summers, later to be known as Havoc. After a tragic run-in with the avian aliens, the Shi'ar, the boys escaped, but Catherine died and her gestating 3rd son, Gabriel Summers, aka Vulcan, was taken by the Shi'ar, as was Christopher, who was enslaved. Later, Christopher escaped to become the Sasu space pirate Corsair and fell for his future alien life partner, Hepzibah. The boys were raised in the foster system until Scott and later Alex were welcomed by the Xavier School. It was there that Scott first met Jean Grey, who had been placed in the school by her parents John and Elaine with the encouragement of her therapist, Charles Xavier. Jean was the youngest of 5 children and the only mutant, as her siblings Sarah, Julia, Roger, and Liam displayed no sign of the X gene. Though Scott and Jean had a stirring romance, Jean would tragically appear to die under the duress of the Phoenix Force. And so, when Scott met a girl exactly like her named Madeline Pryor, he immediately married her and started a family, welcoming their son, Nathan Christopher Charles Summers. However, Madeline and Jean were more alike than you might imagine. Madeline was a clone of Jean Grey created by the mutant geneticist Mr. Sinister. When Jean returned from the dead, Madeline and Scott's relationship fell apart. Madeline made a deal with demons to get revenge on Scott, but seemingly perished in the scuffle. Because Nathan carried Jean's genes, he is biologically Jean's son. However, Nathan was infected with a techno-organic virus and was taken to the future to save his life. There, Nathan was cloned and both children were raised. One to save the world as Cable, and the other abducted to help Apocalypse rule as Strife. During Cable's quest to save mutant kind as well as the future, he married the mutant warrior Aaliyah Dayspring, who gave birth to their son, Tyler Dayspring. Aaliyah was killed in battle and Tyler was abducted by the enemy, growing up to become the power-hungry Genesis. But that was in the future. Cable was already back in the past, where he adopted an infant mutant named Hope. And though Hope Summers shared no genetic relation to Jean, she exhibited many of her finer mutant qualities. Cable and Hope then went back to the future. Meanwhile, back in the past, aka our present, Jean and Scott rekindled their romance and were finally married until Jean died again, which happened while Scott was also falling for Emma Frost. Through the various possible futures created by all that time travel, more children were created, like Rachel Gray Summers, a future Phoenix-imbued daughter of Jean and Scott who's become an X-Man in her past, but also had in the future married Franklin Richards of the FF. Together they had a son, Jonathan Richards, aka the mega-powered Hyperstorm. In another future where Scott remained with Emma Frost, Ruby Summers was born with her own optic blasts. In another timeline, Nate Gray, aka X-Man, was created with Jean and Scott's DNA by Mr. Sinister. Nate came over to the main Marvel universe and became both an X-Man and an enemy to the X-Men. So he was an X-Men named X-Man who joined the X-Men and then fought his X-Men. And none of that was confusing. In addition to their extensive extended family, numerous additional alternate universe and alternate timeline children have been born, or they will be. Not to mention all of Mr. Sinister's other creations like Zraven or the Living Monolith, who utilized multiple X-Men's DNA, so we'll call it here before we tear a hole in the space-time continuum. Oh, no, too late! Ooh, yes, I love Cyclops, aka Scott Summers, more than I'd love my own cloned children, if I had any. What? Never mind. Well, listen, if you want to know who the secret Summers brother is, yes, There's another one. Then you want to pick up X-Men Legends #1 in comic shops and tell us who your favorite member of the Summers family tree is with that hashtag Earth's Mightiest Show. We'll see you next time. I'm Langston from Marvel, your universe.